It is with deep regret that I, Chris Machut, CEO of Nataris, manufacturer of the Hoistcam system, hereby announce the cancellation of the monthly ThoughtLeadership.biz podcast and blog. Over 5 months, I've commanded the leadership of a growing audience that have looked to me almost like a grandfather figure. A ripple became a groundswell, and before I knew it, 7 whole people were tuning into every episode. However, all good things come to an end, where fanfare greeted me as I burst into the blogosphere. A Boy Scout can be heard slobbering into their bugle somewhere in the distance as I depart. I'll explain why. You'll forgive me for reading from a prepared statement. In the previous episode, I called an English former friend unshaven, gaunt, and disheveled. In reflection, I recognize that these comments could have caused offense, particularly in a time when enduring lockdowns across the UK have made it difficult for people to remain well-groomed. With hindsight, I acknowledge that my comments could have caused particular damage to my peer, who I've been advised not to name at this time. Given that morale within the country is low following the government's announcement that restrictions will not be fully lifted until the end of June or so. It is a especially delicate time across the pond from us here in the US, as pub closures are included in these draconian measures we discussed during that podcast. I wish to extend a full and frank apology to Her Majesty, Elizabeth II, Queen of the United Kingdom and 15 other Commonwealth realms, who wrote to me directly to express her concern that calling one of her most upstanding PR professionals unshaven, gaunt, and especially disheveled, which could be catastrophic as her country tries to find its feet again. Okay. Did I get you? Well, Podcast and Plod is reinstated. The reality is, when Rich heard my podcast, he laughed. And when I spoke to him, we giggled again. Yeah, he said giggled. He still looked like he had been dragged through the hedge backwards, and he poked fun at my suggestion that I had any resemblance to Brad Pitt, as I jested in the episode. More like a bloated Bruce Willis, maybe? He quipped. And, as if the Queen would have been tuning into ThoughtLeadership.biz after what Meghan Markle and Prince Harry dumped on her plate on that Oprah interview. Can you imagine that? Ma'am, we need to respond to these allegations. Yes, hang on. Chris is explaining why one should never apply technology for technology's sake. Aren't we looking for someone to lead the palace's tech team again? I'll be honest. This podcast is my attempt at satire. In other words, it's really a response to the woke or cancel culture. To clarify, this platform is 100% apolitical. In any case, I'm no liberal or conservative, or any other organization that charges membership to give you a badge to wear. I boldly and proudly support an ideology of common sense and equal rights, with a segue to management, culture, technology, and innovation. Why not? Let's call it Machuism. Yes, Machutism. I'm bold as brass, too. I need automated alerts and meetings that flash up that say STFU. I'll let you work that one out. I don't want sympathy, but my personality puts me and others who dare to have an opinion or share an emotion in a difficult position in a world where an increasing number of people would want us banished from social or professional circles. They wouldn't need a pandemic to put us in masks. In fact, I can't operate in such a place. I don't want to. I refuse to. So I'm not canceling this podcast, unluckily. That said, as you'll see in future episodes, I do plan to tweak the concept a bit. Watch this space. I don't expect to soften it or make it less likely to cause offense. I do condone rudeness, but I'm not going to call stuff okay if it isn't. I mean, if someone has the audacity to log into a video call looking like a scarecrow, I'm gonna tell them. I don't expect an email, though, titled bullying in the workplace in return. And if they respect me, they'll dig at me in the ribs sometimes as well. I subscribe to the Club of Good Vibes, and membership requires me to continue to act in good faith and on gut instinct. I can hear Rich now. That's a lot of instinct, Chris. Importantly, you don't have to like me, listen to my podcast, or read my blogs. But if you do, it's okay to tell me and others about it. You wouldn't be signing up to a weird cult where, guess what? We're honest and we have opinions. Remember those? On the flip side, it's okay to openly dislike me, reject wholeheartedly everything I say, or print my articles only on mop-up kitchen spillages. That's healthy, normal debate, and disagreement. Let's have some dialogue about it. To take the opposite viewpoint to me isn't unkind. The best way to tackle society's issues and eradicate discrimination is to have conversations, not suppress them. The most efficient method we can employ to rid the world of harassment is not to call everything harassment. Where the scope or scale if everyone is a victim? Let me ask that again. Where's the scope or scale if everyone is a victim? The truth is, more people think like this. They just don't want to speak up for fear of being misinterpreted. I want to empower, uplift, encourage, enrich, support, even love a little. But I'm not cuddly every minute of the day. Okay, cue the waistline jokes. About time, someone said to me recently, having listened to one of the earlier podcasts. How refreshing. There's too much stuffiness in boardrooms, another added. This is the best podcast in the world. No. Okay, nobody said that. But seriously, the second comment resonated with me because it's important that we don't completely lose our direction at a management and executive level within the business world. Owners and leaders should commentate with passion, vigor, and openness. Executives and managers are human beings too. And if we all become robots, everyone else will follow. I love tech, but I don't want to live in a world of machines that have had their human instincts and emotions programmed out. Podcast, blog, reinstated, indeed. We have some work to do around here. Is canceled one L or twos? Those Brits need to be canceled with their wrong letters.